Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, and in this video, I'm going to be playing some AI Dungeon 2. In this video, I am going to try and become the Belt Wrestling King in 30 minutes or less. Let me start up the timer right now, and make sure you guys subscribe because I do these videos every day. Okay, so we got the timer started up. I'm going to double check to make sure I'm already recording, and let's get started. So I need to choose Emotion, Protection, Illusion, Soul, Luck, or Divination. I'm going to go with Illusion. Okay, and that's going to generate the prompt for our AI Dungeon 2 adventure, where the AI is going to act as like a dungeon master, and I'm going to act as the player in a collaborative storytelling game with an artificial intelligence. Okay, you are in a fight to become the Belt Wrestling King. Whoever becomes the Belt Wrestling King will be granted immense fame and fortune. Belt wrestling is a sport where opponents have to trip and throw their opponents to the ground by grabbing their opponent's belts. Belt wrestlers use magic symbols known as staves to enhance their abilities. You currently have one illusion stave on your belt. There is a strict referee standing in the arena to make sure that no one cheats. The referee says, "Whoever can throw their opponent to the ground by grabbing their opponent's belt will be the victor. Wrestlers, enter the ring and introduce yourselves." You approach your opponent in the ring. Your opponent is wearing a cloak, so you don't know what they look like. You don't know what your opponent's name, gender, what staves are on their belt, or how many staves they have on their belt. Your opponent says, "Would you like to know who I am and why I'm fighting to become the Belt Wrestling King? The people at the belt wrestling matches refer to me as the Outlander. I am not originally from this land, so I do not have any stake in continuing the troubled history between our people." Okay, so my opponent is the Outlander. They're not from this land, and there's a troubled history between their people and my people. Cool. I'm going to say, why do you want to become the Belt Wrestling King? I am the Outlander. Why? Because I'm not from here. Cool story, bro. Very, very weak name and description of name. Makes sense, though. Ooh. I wish to bring peace between the people in this land and my own people. We live in a time where our world is being threatened by an angry red god. Wait, what? So I'm going to say, so you are trying to unite our people so that we can fight back against an angry red god that threatens us all? Yeah, because that's kind of an interesting reason to want to become the Belt Wrestling King. To try and, like, unite two different groups of people. That's kind of cool, actually. Like, I like their reason for wanting to do it. I'm not sure how it establishes that, but that's interesting. That is correct. Whether you agree with my methods or not, I would think that we can both agree that something must be done about the angry red god. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty dope. So I'm going to say, also before I say anything else, let me make sure to go into Edit Adventure, publish this adventure, and to set up the automatic story summary. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Now let's jump back into the adventure and see how much time we have. Okay, only 4 minutes have passed, so we got plenty of time. I'm going to say to Outlander, what staves do you have on your belt? Well, I guess first I'm going to ask the Outlander, will you take off your cloak so that I can see who you are? I like to know who I'm fighting. So the Outlander has said, like, I'm the Outlander or whatever, but I have no idea what the Outlander actually looks like. So let's figure out what the Outlander looks like. Very well, your opponent says and throws off their cloak. Underneath, they are wearing an elaborate suit of shining silver armor with a strange symbol, a white eye inside of a black circle, emblazoned on the chest plate. Interesting. I'm going to say, what does that symbol on your chest represent? Is that symbol a stave? Ooh, actually, yeah, that would be interesting. Like the idea that my opponent wears a stave on their armor. That actually seems kind of cool, like conceptually. Because I was imagining that the staves would be on the belt. It is actually. It has magical abilities that will enhance my own abilities during this fight. Unlike yourself, I did not come here without any preparation or enhancements. I'm going to say, I have a stave as well, except my stave is on my belt. What kind of stave is the one? What kind of stave is that on your chest? So this is kind of interesting. So my opponent's stave is really obvious and it's a part of their armor. So that's fascinating. This is a stave that was given to me by my people, the shepherds. Forged by the best weaponsmiths in our land, its magic is significantly stronger than anything you will have faced before. Excuse me. That doesn't really tell me the type of stave it is. I'm going to ask the Outlander, is it a protection stave, an emotion stave, an illusion stave, or some other type of stave? Yeah, like he's just saying it's powerful and it was given to him by his people, but it doesn't actually tell me like what kind of stave it is. I also don't know if the Outlander is like a man or a woman or not. You seem to have a lot of questions. Unfortunately for you, you will not learn the secrets of my magic before this fight ends. At this point, the Outlander removes their armor, revealing a powerful, muscled body. Okay? I'm going to try to see if the Outlander is a man or a woman. Also, if the stave is on their armor, why would they take their armor off? Is that why they said I would not learn the secrets of their magic before the fight ends? Because they're not going to use their magic? Is that what's happening? What? The Outlander's muscular body might be that of a man or a woman. You cannot tell just by looking at their body. The Outlander stares at you defiantly and says, okay, so I have no idea if the Outlander is a man or a woman, which is interesting. So they're like androgynous, and they have silver armor, but they stripped down out of the silver armor. Earlier, they were getting on to me because they were like, unlike you, I didn't come here without any preparation or enhancements. The Outlander stares at you defiantly and says, I suppose you're wondering why I'm not tearing off your clothes before this fight. What? Then the AI had me say, well, I was considering it. To which then the Outlander said, I have had magic cast on me, so I cannot harm you in such a manner during the duration of the fight. Let's retry that. I don't like that. That's really weird. The Outlander stares at you defiantly and says, I guess it's time to end this fight. You may have taken my sword, but I still have my stave. No one ever took your sword. You took your own armor. I'm going to retry that. The Outlander stares at you defiantly and says, the time for talking is over. Okay. I'm going to attempt to use my illusion stave to create illusory clones of myself. And then I'm going to say, you won't be able to defeat me. With my illusion clones, you'll have no idea which of me is the real one. There's a flash of light, and then several indistinguishable figures stand in front of you. You sense that somehow the Outlander sees through your trickery. They know which one is the real you. The Outlander strikes out at one of the illusions, hitting it directly in the chest. I'm going to think to myself, for some reason, I have a feeling that the Outlander can sense which one is me. But that Outlander just attacked one of the illusions. Maybe the Outlander is trying to trick me. I think they might have a divination stave. You say, is your stave a divination stave? Divination staves allow for the wearer to unlock hidden information and see through illusions. It would suck. Yeah, so did the AI just pick the exact kind of stave that sees through, like, what my character does? You know a lot about staves. I suppose it makes sense, and I can respect an educated opponent. You are correct. This is a divination stave. It allows me to see through illusions, and more importantly, it allows me to see which one is the real you. I'm going to say, seeing through illusions won't be enough to defeat me. I can create sensory illusions that mimic sensations. I can make you feel as if you are burning to death. That will distract you long enough for me to grab your belt and slam you to the ground. So there we go. That's my plan. So it doesn't matter if you can tell if, like, the illusion is real or not, because, like, the feeling is still there. So if you feel like you're burning, then how are you going to get through? Interesting theory. I suppose we'll find out if that's true or not in a few moments. Now let's begin. The Outlander attacks you again, and this time you narrowly dodge the attack. You feel the wind from the sword as it cuts the air next to you. Wind from the sword? I'm going to say, referee. The Outlander is trying to use a sword against me. This is belt wrestling. The focus should be on grabbing belts, not using swords. So I'm going to say that to the referee. Because that is weird. I don't know why in, like, a belt wrestling competition you would have swords. That seems kind of odd. Because the whole point is you're supposed to grab your opponent's belt and, like, slam them to the ground, essentially. The referee nods at your complaint and says, "You're right. I can't let you use a sword in this fight. That's 2 points for your opponent." The Outlander pulls out a short sword from their pack and grins at you. Wait. I'm going to say, you hear that, Outlander? I just gained 2 points. Throw away your weapons. Unless you want me to win by default. The Outlander looks at you and then looks at their sword and smiles. The Outlander says, okay, so let's see what the Outlander's going to say. I'm waiting. Let's see what the AI says in response. It doesn't know what to say. Come on, AI. What's Outlander gonna do? Is he gonna take the L? Is he gonna throw his swords to the side? Also, his divination stave is only kind of okay. The Outlander says, "You really think I'm going to get rid of my sword just because you asked me to?" The Outlander brandishes their sword and swings it around a bit, then raises it up in front of them and points it directly at you. I'm going to say, well, I guess I'm going to ask the referee. I already have 2 points. How many points do I need in order to win? Yeah, like, if he's cheating, right, by using weapons, and that leads to me gaining 2 points because he's cheating. What? The referee answers you with a question. How much time do you need? You think for a moment and answer, well, I already have 2 points. I just need another 3. Why would I answer my own? That doesn't make any sense. Just refresh. The referee looks down at his paper and says, if no weapons are used and you don't voluntarily remove any clothing, each participant starts with 2 points. After that, it takes 3 points to win the belt. What? If no weapons are used and you don't voluntarily remove any clothing, each participant starts with 2 points. After that, it takes 3 points to win the belt. If I understand him correctly, I'm going to ask the referee. So since we both started with 2 points, and then I gained 2 more points from Outlander brandishing a sword, does that mean that I only need 1 more point to win? Yeah, so this is kind of interesting. So he doesn't just automatically lose. The referee looks over at the Outlander and then nods. It looks that way. The Outlander, seeing what is going on, takes their sword and throws it across the room in a fit. Fine, you win. Just take the damn sword away from me. Okay. So I'm going to say, I am glad that you threw away your sword. You're going to have to work hard to defeat me now. You need to get 3 more points, while I only need to get 1. The Outlander licks their lips nervously and looks around the room. Then they see it. The massive, heavy wooden chair you're sitting on. Why am I sitting in a chair? What would be the point of that? The Outlander begins moving towards the chair as everyone watches. Okay. I'm going to get out of the wooden chair and then attempt to use my Illusion Stave. Ooh. To make the Outlander feel itchy all over their body. If the Outlander is like super itchy, they're not going to be able to focus on the fight. So then I can try and grab their belt and slam them to the ground while they're busy trying to like scratch at their itches. The Outlander lifts the chair over their head and is about to swing it down when the Outlander stops moving and scratching. They stand there scratching their head, cocked to one side. Okay, awesome. So while he's distracted scratching at, like, I guess his itchy self, I'm going to attempt to grab the Outlander's belt while they're distracted and use it to throw the Outlander to the ground. Okay, so hopefully this works. Do 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 do. You rush toward and grab their belt. The Outlander drops the chair on their own feet. The Outlander screams in pain as you spin around to lift them up and throw them to the ground. I'm going to say, this is it. If I can throw you down by your belt, then I'll win the match and become the belt wrestling king. Okay. So hopefully this works. You manage to get behind the Outlander and wrap your arms around their waist. You hold them in place for a moment while you try to get a grip before flinging the Outlander over your shoulder and onto the ground. I'm going to say to the referee, I did it. Can you confirm that I have successfully won the match? The referee looks at you, the Outlander, and the Outlander's position on the ground. He thinks for a moment before nodding his head. The match goes to the main character. Thank you, referee. The crowd goes wild as you stand up, your arms raised in victory. I'm going to say, hey, Outlander, even though I won, I agree with what you said about the Red Angry God. We should unite our people against the Red Angry God. And then I'm going to offer to help the Outlander stand up. Yeah. Because they seem to have like an honorable reason for wanting to, like, you know, be a belt wrestler. The Outlander stands up and you extend your hand to help them up. You're not going to attack? The Outlander shakes their head and pulls their sword back out of their sheath. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry about this. They swing the sword at your head. Yo, what? They, like, put their sword... Oh, they pulled it back out of their sheath. So earlier they threw a sword, like, across the room. Maybe they landed by their sword when I, like, slammed them down. And then they were able to sheath it while they're on the ground. Then I go over to offer to, like, lift them up. And then they, like, unsheath their sword and they try to, like, kill me. Okay? So I'm going to attempt to lean back and dodge the Outlander's sword strike. Yeah, because that sucks. It seems like the Outlander does not take losing well. You dodge the strike, but you slip on a bottle that was left on the floor and fall backwards, hitting your head on the ground. The crowd gasps as you lie motionless on the ground. I'm going to say, Outlander, I thought you wanted our people to unite against the angry red god. The belt wrestling match is over. I already won. We don't need to fight each other. We instead need to fight together against the angry red god, or I'm going to call them the Arg. So we are in like a really weird situation now, where Outlander lost, but they seem to still be like popping off. The Outlander kneels down, they put their sword away and take off their eye patch. I'm sorry, main character. They cut the tape binding your hands and pulled the bag off your head. I don't have any of that. I don't have any of those things. Please retry. The Outlander looks conflicted and kneels down to check if you're still alive. Seeing that you are, the Outlander picks up their sword and slinks off into the shadows. The referee comes over to you and checks to see if you're alive. Why does everyone think I'm dead? I'm definitely alive. I am alive. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to talk. I'm confused on why Outlander ran away. I thought Outlander wanted our people to unite against the Ark. Yeah, this actually is really weird. They seemed like they were like a good guy until they lost and then tried to kill me. And then once they didn't kill me, they just kind of ran away, went into the shadows. The referee shrugs. Hell if I know. You were talking about Arg earlier. What's up with that? I'm going to say Outlander mentioned that an Arg, or angry red god, was threatening the people of our two lands. Outlander wanted to unite the two lands to fight back against the Ark. Or at least, that's what I thought. After Outlander lost, they seemed different. They seemed angry. What if the Arg possessed Outlander when they lost? Yeah, that actually would be kind of interesting. The referee shrugs again. Stranger things have happened, but let's talk about you. You want a medical checkup? And I think you're going to need one after what you just experienced. Okay. I'm going to say, sure. I'll do a medical checkup. Can someone go find Outlander? I want to make sure that Outlander hasn't been possessed by the Ark. The referee looks concerned. Outlander? We stopped sending people after them a few months ago. Wait, stop. Stop the outlet. He literally was just here. Don't act like we've been doing this for a while. The referee nods. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll get the medical team to look at you, and if they say you're fine, then we'll go look for Outlander. Okay, cool. So I'm going to check in with the medical team to make sure that I'm okay. Wait, what? I'm so confused. I'm sorry. We did everything we could to save your friend. Ooh, and that's the alarm. So at the end, it seemed like the AI got confused and was trying to say that like Outlander died or something. But yeah, this was interesting. If you ignore that ending part, I thought this was like kind of a fun adventure. I like the backstory that we got for that Outlander, and the concept of them trying to like unite two different groups of people to fight against a common threat. I thought it was interesting that the AI decided that the Outlander would have a stave that would allow them to like see through illusions, and that the stave had like an eye for a symbol, you know, an eye to let them see through the illusion. That was kind of cool. Because when I asked them like, what does the stave do? They were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna reveal it. I'm not gonna like let you like know what my stave does." But then the game was like, you can sense that their opponent can tell like which clone is like the real you. And then I'm like, divination? And it's like, yes, you're smart. You're aware that I have the divination thing. I like that I had to like try and play around that. I also thought it was interesting that like this was like a heavily like rules based fight. So it wasn't like a, battle to the death or like battle to knockout or whatever. It felt like a sport that like had rules and we had to like follow the rules. And I'm glad that the referee like helped to enforce those rules. I also thought it was interesting that you could like use weapons in the fight and you would just take like a penalty, but you don't like automatically lose. You practically do because it makes your opponent essentially at like match point. They just have to take you down once instead of having to take you down like three times. But it's interesting that I feel like he could have kept using a sword, and it's like he already took the penalty. So, like, it doesn't matter. Because then he picked up a chair and he didn't take any additional penalty points. So it's like you cheat once, and now it's like match point, and then essentially he could have just kept cheating. So that was really interesting. He or she, not assuming gender, because we tried to figure out if they were a man or a woman, and they were like, you literally can't tell. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell. We know if I would ever do these videos. This is your friend, your boy, Jet Black the One Only, logging out. Peace, guys. Check it out.